That game was fucking trash.
At the time, I was fit. At the present time, I certainly am not.
Hey man,
Early.
everything good?
Yeah, it's great. I kept the seat warm for you.
On this particular day, I was early getting off shift. It was one of the prettiest days I can ever remember seeing in the Cascade Mountains. It made me want to take a hike.
Take a hike.
I've been walking uphill for 2 hours at least. It was taking a long time because of the terrain. I decided to find a route that would get me into a more open area. When I looked through my compass to take that measurement, I was totally shocked. I saw a person standing there, but it was clearly not a human being. This thing had a human-like shape to it and a clear place for the eyes and the nose and the mouth, but it wasn't a person. He had his eyes directly on me. The weirdest thing happened. I just involuntarily cocked my head to one side. He mimicked me. Exactly. He was smart. I instinctively reached around to get my weapon.
It's high noon somewhere in the world.
He ran away so fast, it seemed impossible. Certainly physically impossible for a human.
For an American
I was
human.
so curious that I had to check it out. I carried on walking for a while, but I was feeling a little nervous. It was darker than it should be for me to get back to the car before dark, and I didn't have a flashlight. I realized I wasn't going to make it unless I turned around right then, so I did. It was as loud as some guns when they go off. It was a big tree. The snap came from my right. It was impossible. He'd circled me. The idea that I couldn't see him, but he could see me, made me very uncomfortable. That's just a prescription for an ambush. That's when I heard a second snap. He wasn't just watching me or running away from me. He was tracking me. I was rushing down the hill, and all of a sudden, there is a deer standing in front of me. She snapped her head over in the direction that I'd been watching, where the snaps had been coming from. She smelled the air with her head up. And then she bolted in the opposite direction as fast as I've ever seen a deer move. I felt the hair on the back of my neck go up. I knew I was being watched. I was convinced that I was going to die, and that I was going to die in a very bad way. When I finally saw my car, I was hearing snaps very close, but they weren't frequent, and as I got real close to the car, they stopped entirely. I remember now thinking, those snaps have stopped because he's right behind me and he's going to grab me.
Someone needs to grab him and put him next door.
Whack, 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 whack.